Oh, good timing. The garbage truck's just arrived. Just some random albums, just totally random. Um, Moon Tan, Golden Earring. Pretty good album, this. It's a naked man's bottom. Um, yeah, it has the outstanding track Radar Love on it, of course. This one's in beautiful condition. Yeah, so just random. If the albums are really good, I might talk about them in detail. Um, it's a good one, and I always like this Ravi Shankar, Chapakwa. It's the soundtrack to a movie from the 1960s, Chapakwa. Uh, it has people like Jean-Louis Barrault, William S. Burroughs, Allen Ginsberg, Swami Satchid Ananda, Ornette Coleman, and Paula Pritchett. It's yeah, it's just a soundtrack. Some parts of it are really good, and not much more to say. But the soundtracks, I've never seen the movie. It was a small independent movie from the 60s, so I didn't get here. I never saw it here in Australia. Um, okay, now 10 years after, not the greatest band in the world, but I really can't stand it when Alvin Lee does that sweet little 16 and rock and roll stuff and does that super idiotic fast guitar. Some, yeah, some of it's all right, but just hard work. This though, Space in Time, is I think their best album by a million miles. It's got a lot of acoustic guitar. It's a very acousticy album, but there's oh man, I'll just read out the names of the tracks. Side one, One of These Days, Here They Come, I'd Love to Change the World. Now those first three are just killer songs. They're great songs. Yes, he's got his guitar, electric guitar going, but it's a lot of acousticy. It sort of reminds me a bit of not Led Zeppelin, but what can I say? Over the Hill is still good, but then you get to the last track. And this is what I hate about 10 years after. They've always got to do this. Last track on side one, Baby, Won't You Let Me Rock and Roll You? Give me a break. Okay, go over to side two. Once There Was a Time, great. Let the Sky Fall, great. Hard Monkeys, great. I think that's about drugs. I've been there too, and Uncle Jam. I think it's pretty okay, side two. But side one's ruined. But luckily, it's the last track on side one. Baby, Let Me Rock and Roll. Give me a break. But I highly recommend that album, especially if you don't particularly like 10 Years After. It's a great album. I play it fairly regularly, and it's came out, I don't know, probably very early 1970s. Now, this is someone that has totally destroyed his credibility a long, long time ago. I just thought I'd show the cover. This is an original. Unfortunately, someone's torn this price tag off. But this is back when, see that? Look, see, it's cobblestones on the road, and when you look at it, it's got the cover's like cobblestones too. It's an ugly cover, but it's of its time. And this is Gasoline Alley by Rod Stewart, and there's the inner Rod in all his glory. um, Actually, the track listings aren't too bad. Gasoline Alley's all right. It's all over now's all right. Only a Hobo, My Way of Giving, Steve Marriott, Ronnie Lane song. Yeah, not a good version. Side two, Country Comfort, Elton John song. Cut Across Shorty, Lady Day, Joe's Lament. I don't want to discuss it. It's not bad. It's not every picture tells a story. That is, to me is like that's the one. It's just so good. It's like it doesn't matter what abominations he did after he left the Jeff Beck group. At least he made every picture tells a story. And the reason why I particularly keep this is because it's got the wonderful Vertigo swirl. I don't have many of those. Um, Now, John Cale's another one. I find his um, John Cale, ex Velvet Underground. I find his attempts at rock and roll just as obnoxious as 10 years after, in that he he's not a rock and roller. He tries, but it just comes across as someone trying too hard, and he gets into that hysterical, screaming sort of crap that's fake, fake emotion. But this album, Slow Dazzle, is absolutely. I highly recommend this album. It sounds great. The vinyl sounds absolutely fantastic. Beautifully produced, arranged and produced by John Cale. Now the tracks are track one, side one, Mr. Wilson. It's about Brian Wilson. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's like a Brian Wilson melody. It's a beautiful song about Brian Wilson. Taking it all away, um, yeah, it's all right. Dirty ass rock and roll. Now that's one where this is one of these ones where he tries to be tough rock and roller, but somehow on this one, he's pulled it back and it's bearable. Track four, Darling, I Need You. Darling, 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 I need you. That's a good one. Roller Roll, last track, side one. Side two is his version of Heartbreak Hotel. Now, it's him doing the screechy sort of thing, trying to act like a tough guy, but it sort of works, you know. Next track, Ski Patrol. Here comes the Ski Patrol. It comes but once a year. Nice song. This is what the album's worth having for. This is if I don't know. I think this is his best ballad, his best, most beautiful song he ever did. I'm Not the Loving Kind. Oh my God. Then comes Guts. That's one of those ones where he does the guts, I got no guts. That's sort of just shit, I got an EP his too with a track on there called Chicken Shit. He's just going, chicken shit. Fuck, that's chicken shit. But on that EP is Head of Gambler. One of the most wild things he's ever written. It's fantastic. What can you say about this guy? He is a balladeer par excellence. But he cannot rock and roll. Neither could Lou Reed, not really. If he didn't have Steve Hunter and all those guys helping him out, I never liked the Velvet Underground at all. Jesus and Mary changed what the Velvet Underground should have sounded like. Anyway, and the last track, The Jeweler. Now, by the way, I'll talk about The Jeweler for a few minutes because it's a really important song track. Piano, organ, clavinet, vocals, John Cale. Guitars, Chris Spedding and Phil Manzanera. Listen to that. Two great guitarists on this album. All right, you get the idea of what the guitar work's going to be like on this. Bass, Pat Donaldson. Drums, Timmy Donald, yes, Jerry Conway. Violin, electric piano, Chris Thomas. And I can't read that. Eno's on it. Synthesizer, Eno. Believe me, this is a wonderful album. Even though it's got a couple of those sort of fake, angsty rock and roll and screechy things on it, they are sort of subdued compared with the album Fear, which has got his second best ballad on, but all the rest of the tracks are just him screeching like a damn monkey. So the last track, side two, The Jeweler. It's great. It's sort of like it's a poem about a woman's private parts, and what Crowded House called the Temple of Low Men, and it's just great. And he's on LSD while he's reciting it, because in my youthful days, was a bit of a penchant for quality LSD, and you can hear it, that metallic edge in the voice when someone's on acid, and especially pure acid from the day. The voice takes on like almost a slight metallic edge. You can hear it. Someone that's taken LSD can pick it. He's tripping while he does it. It's a masterpiece. I mean, that's Eno on that one too. It's a beauty. This album is essential, or just to have. I'm Not the Loving Kind, and oh, there goes the moron delivering drugs on his little motorbike again, 10 times a day. It's worth it for I'm Not the Loving Kind and the last track, The Jeweler. Just for those two alone. Now, this is a shit album. I cannot stand it. But I keep it because I always like the cover. The Nice, which is Keith Emerson's band before Emerson Lake. Now, I've got to be honest here, I absolutely detest Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And all, but they're the worst aspects of prog. There's one sort of basically okay track on this. I just keep it because I like the cover and it's on the Immediate label, which didn't often put out albums. It's more a singles label. But it's got one sort of so-so track on it. But I just don't know. I just sort of like the cover. Whatever. And finish up from the sublime to the ridiculous. I've got 2 copies of this. This is a World Record Club, The Dream of Gerontius, and by Sir Edward Elgar, World Record Club. And it's just so beautiful. I've got 2 copies. And this is back in the day. See, they came so beautifully packaged. You know, they got these strong binders on the end and beautiful paper. It's not paper. It's paper, but it's very thick. Just so beautifully put together. The World Record Club, and yes, indeed, 2 copies. I'm very happy to own them, and it weighs a ton. And to finish, another one that weighs a ton. If you watch this, Davis, here's another one of your cowpoke buddies from your neck of the woods, I think. Success Motivation Institute Incorporated, P.O. Box 7614, Waco, Texas. All right, here we go. I love this cover. The power of inspired salesmanship. By Millard Bennett. I've never played it because I don't want it to ruin the fantasy. I imagine he screams and yells on it like you'll burn in hell if you don't sell all the products. And it comes in these wonderful, it's a rice paper. I mean, this is something he's put out himself, you know, like success, motivation. Success Motivation Institute. Double album. I might play it one day, but then I probably won't. But yeah, so this double album will wake the sleeping giant within you and put him to work to make you a greater success. So yeah, you can imagine. So that's it for today, and stay well, everybody, please, and take care.